But how do we know what he came here for? He didn't come and asked or come to us and said, he just stood there. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if we started the press conference, and I'm not accusing him of anything. We didn't know if he was going to pull out a gun. We didn't know what we didn't know.
If this dummy over here, if he wasn't race hustling, he would have had a moment where the two families could have come together and grieved together. And that would have melted the hearts of many people to feel like maybe Karmelo Anthony isn't a bad kid, and maybe his family isn't out to get white people or all of these things. And then maybe people on both sides could come together and say, this is a tragedy and we hope the best solution for both families. But he can't do that because they race hustling.
He told me I got to stop eating the chips right before I talk about them, but I can't stop eating these chips. They're tremendously good. And the crazy thing is that they're good and they're also healthy at the same time. Monster Chips is an incredible brand, incredible chip. My family, we literally load up on Monster Chips. And right here at the headquarters, we have them everywhere. One thing that I like about the Monster Chips is the limited ingredients. I don't need all that super spooky stuff in my food, and I don't have to be a food scientist to know that this is a really good product. Let me read the ingredients right here on the back. All it has is organic corn, 100% grass-fed beef. Remember that, grass-fed beef tallow, sea salt, and lime. That's it. Made right here in the United States of America. But let me tell you this, I got a discount for you, all right? 25% off. If you go to monsterchips.com/Officer Tatum, make sure you put in the code Officer Tatum, you'll get 25% off your next bag. Join me and be healthy and get you some Monster Chips.
I did not wake up this morning trying to talk about black people in a negative way. I really want to start to change my verbiage because I don't want people to think I don't like black people. I just don't like the N's. I don't like the hard R's, right? There's a lot of good, successful black people that I love, incredible people. I was around a couple of them today. Great people, just like anybody else. But then there's the ones, just like the white ones and the Mexican ones and of any race that are absolute horrible individuals, disingenuous, evil devils. And those are the ones I don't like. Those are the ones I call out every day. The ones who sabotage their own community and sabotage and hate America and full of divisiveness and lies. Let's go to one of those fools that I dislike and I'm vehemently against. Is this guy named Dominique Alexander. This guy is a convicted felon, criminal, and to be honest, he is literally ruining the case for Karmelo Anthony. Now, I'm not saying Carmelo Anthony had a good case to start with, but absolutely the worst look that you could potentially do as a family is have this guy who can't even speak proper English, who don't have a good reputation in the criminal justice system, himself has been to prison for assault and all kind of other violent crimes and theft. And then they had a good opportunity to taint the jury pool in a positive way for Karmelo Anthony. Because Austin Metcalf's dad, which I disagree with him on trying to be unifying, because I said these people don't want to unify with you. The ends don't want to unify with you. They hate you and they despise you. But Austin Metcalf's dad wanted to be the unifier. If this dummy over here, if he wasn't race hustling, he would have had a moment where the two families could have come together and grieved together. And that would have melted the hearts of many people to feel like maybe Karmelo Anthony isn't a bad kid, and maybe his family isn't out to get white people or all of these things. And then maybe people on both sides could come together and say, this is a tragedy and we hope the best solution for both families. But he can't do that because they race hustling. He kicked this man dad out of that event when he was just coming to be united because they both lost their sons, potentially. Listen to this fool with his fake explanation of why he kicked Austin Metcalf's dad out of that event. Roll the clip.
Let me say this. The Anthony family didn't even know that Austin's dad was even in the facility. They didn't know that Austin's dad was here until he was actually removed by DPD. One of our security people asked him to move back. He looked back at him like he was entitled or like he didn't have to move, whatever it may be. We didn't even know who he was at this time. We just asked him to step back. Then one of the members of the media told us that, hey, that's the dad. I said, the dad of who? I said, who? What? He was like, yeah, that's Austin's dad. I said, I know you lying. Like, what? he can't be here. And so what we initiated is
Tell the
making
truth.
sure that we secured the facility. Let me make this very clear. The Anthony family didn't even know he was here. But how do we know what he came here for? He didn't come and asked or come to us and said, he just stood there. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if we started the press conference, and I'm not accusing him of anything. We didn't know if he was going to pull out a gun. We didn't know what we didn't know.
Pull out a gun. Okay.
But at the end of the day, what we just wait and just say, oh man, just let's start the press conference. We didn't pat anybody down coming into the facility. We didn't look at everybody. We didn't know, y'all. But these YouTubers and TikTok and all these people started to rush to judgment. I'm being insensitive. I'm being this. I have a press conference with a whole media press corps in a family that I have to ensure the safety of. NGAN had at least 12 people on our security team that day. We could have removed him if we wanted to. We could have literally done that. But no, what we did was we tried, because of the sensitivity of the case, allow DPD to handle it. If anybody that was there, no, we didn't lack security, right? But where he came in and approached, we could not allow him to stay there. Not only outside of the fact that this is a current pending criminal case, right? And the press conference was about the Anthony family and their use of funds. The funds that they have not even received yet at that time. So it wasn't really about the particulars of the case. It was about these false narratives that came out about how they were using their.
Now, let me say this. This guy's an ignorant fool, if you ask me. He tried to say, well, we had security. We had 12 people on security. So why you have that much security but don't pat nobody down? What are you saying, bro? Why do you got security and they didn't do anything? How do you have 12 members of security and first of all, he's saying we had security, but you didn't pat nobody down, which what are you securing if you got this many people? And nobody on your security team knows Austin Metcalf's dad, who been on television as much as y'all have. So what security do you have? What are they there to secure? Who are they there to protect when you got a person who you say, we don't know what his motives are? Security let him in the building. We let the PD handle it. Yeah, because you wanted him to be embarrassed, because the thing is, it would have been even more embarrassing if your security team would have kicked him out and it would have been a conflict. Probably would have violated his rights, because if it's a public event, it's not a private event. You don't pay for it. You can't kick people out of a public event. But what I will say is that keep being evil and keep putting that energy out there. And I think that it's not going to bode well for Karmelo Anthony, because the public is beginning to be more turned off more and more this guy talk. And where's his GoFundMe at this point? Do we have his GoFundMe? Let's go to it's about how much? 520, almost. They raised it to 600,000. Why do y'all need $600,000? I'm just wondering. The kid ain't dead. Y'all need $600,000 to what? Defend him in court? They keep raising the number, 600,000. And he the one killed somebody. And I swear, if you go through and look at, is this scrollable? This is a picture. If you go through and look at the comments, they're disgusting. They're racist. Let's listen to the CEO of GiveSendGo. He went on Fox News. We have that clip. Let's roll that clip real quick. Roll it.
How proud am I of this campaign? I wouldn't say I'm proud at all. What if there's any level of say, I don't even like the word proud, pride in it. But when to be utilized as a unifying platform, which I believe we are, we're being utilized to bring hope into difficult situations. I'm very happy to see the impact that our platform has had on so many lives, so many campaigns around the world. And this is just another one of them. The circumstances are very difficult, but we get difficult circumstance campaigns every single day. People who just got a death sentence by cancer diagnosis, or a family passed away in a tragic car accident. We see a lot of tragedy, which is why people oftentimes need to fundraise. This is just another one of those. So pride, no, I have no pride. I have no pride in this campaign being on GiveSendGo. I just have appreciation for what GiveSendGo is doing in the midst of these tragic moments, which is standing on principle, which is loving people even in the midst of very hard and dark places. There will always be people donating for the wrong reasons. I mean, on any campaign, there are people that believe that the best way forward is racial division. That's what they believe, and so they're going to stoke the flames of racial division however they can, and people do that all the time. That's just the prerogative of living, or the let's say, not even say penalty, but when you live in free societies, which we do, there is a price to pay, and that is it allows for some people to do things that might not be good. And I think people do that all the time, like the death threats that we have, or just even saying nasty things to people. Like, well, that's your prerogative. I don't think that's a good thing. Like, do you think you're building society by cussing and swearing and being derogatory to people? Like, no, I don't think many people would agree with that, but yet we have freedom to do it. And so there are people that think that's the best way forward. And I don't find any validation in that in the real world as far as making a positive difference. I think it just adds more fuel to the fire.
All right, I think I heard enough.
They're happy.
So the CEO made his statement. You get his point. I think he does have a point to a certain degree. I don't know what it's like to run GiveSendGo. They do a lot of campaigns, and I think it's incredible that people are able to crowdfund for things that they truly, honestly need. But people like the lady that called the N-word to the boy, and then this Karmelo Anthony thing is a shame. But I think what the GiveSendGo CEO realizes is that if they don't discriminate against people who raise money, then they make more money, right? You can't go and you can't go on GoFundMe. You go and GiveSendGo. They just made, a couple points off of $1 million raised between the two of those people that's involved in somewhat of a race war.